Hey everyone, Sam the Miracle Man here. I trust all is well. So, the insights I had this morning are kind of profound compared to what happened this afternoon. I almost had the feeling of like a lot of oppression, a lot of suppression, almost like your voice doesn't matter. It's almost the feeling like you're about to be a bug that is squashed. With all this lockdown, all this frustration, all this constraint, it's just creating lots and lots of issues. People are feeling that their voice isn't being heard, that they aren't being acknowledged, that they're just being pushed aside. But we all have a voice, and we all are here to make a difference. And violence and fighting and battling isn't the way to do it. The way to shift is by shifting ourselves, by being content with who we are and having that love, that compassion for ourselves, to realize that this is our current human experience. And by changing ourselves, we'll change society. It's creating this global shift of consciousness. And a lot of people have talked about this. Dr. Stephen Greer talks about this, about being a place of love, compassion, of talking to these beings through consciousness, and together, creating this change. And David Icke as well talks about consciousness. That there's a lot of people talking about that the real way to create change is through a shift of consciousness. Yes, you may be feeling oppressed, feeling constrained right now because you're not seeing the bigger picture. You're not seeing that your consciousness, you're very attached to this human experience. And Martin Luther King had it right through peaceful protests, by making your voices heard, but not in a violent or battling way, not in breaking the law, but being this peaceful protester. And Gandhi was this way as well. That real transformation happens through peace. I see this in my own life story. It's when I stopped battling myself that change happened. There was constantly at war with myself, that I wasn't good enough, that I wasn't deserving. So this created all the autoimmune diseases. But once we relax and be at peace, then we can really be an instrument of change by living an example. That I don't agree with this policy or that policy, but I can be a peaceful protester. I can shift my consciousness. Then when enough people shift their consciousness, we will see big transformations. And it's sad to see all the violence. Yes, something wasn't quite right with the election. There's no real smoking gun. Or if there was a smoking gun, it's being ignored, it's being censored, it's being suppressed. Because there's an agenda at work. People always have agendas. What's the bigger picture at play? Where can we really make the difference? By learning to be at peace. To be this peaceful protester and asking questions, that there shouldn't be any reason for censorship and the social media platforms, the press. It should be a healthy debate, a healthy discussion, not swept under the rug. So this will create the manifestation of anger, that they don't hear you, that they're not listening, that they're not paying attention. It's just a matter of the way we're communicating, of realizing, yes, something needs to be done, but there's other ways to do it, by investigating to make sure that we're being heard. But unfortunately, I see it becoming a one-party system, my way or the highway type of mentality. And that's not a healthy society. Healthy society is by different views, different opinions, having healthy debate, the moving forward together, not in this divided state, because we're all this one consciousness. We're all expressions of this one consciousness. We all have the same energy animating our bodies, this spirit. But then we all have these different minds and ways of being, and this creates separation, division. But ultimately, we are the one human race, and we have to move together in unison, not through division, not through war, not through battles, by bringing back healthy debate and discussion, not shutting people down, allowing their voices to be heard. So a lot has happened now with COVID, this virus. It's creating a lot of division where we no longer trust. There's no single source that we can trust. MSNBC is giving a partial truth based on their bias. CNN, a partial truth based on their bias. Fox News, a partial truth based on their bias. Newsmax, a partial truth on their bias. We all have this cognitive bias, and it just creates division. Yes, take all these different opinions and come to a mutual decision on how to move forward, not forcing it down, or people feeling suppressed, and people that only know themselves as thoughts will react violently. But it's time to be at peace, to realize that this experience is to help you grow at this deeper heart space level. So there's a lot of tension in society, and unfortunately I think DC is just the beginning of this, as there's more fear, more division, more censorship, that we need healthy debate, open platforms where we can have healthy discussions on the best way to move forward. To realize that the people are in control. We can't allow the few to dictate the many, if you will. That we have to stand together in unison, demanding change. But not by lashing out, by being in this place of it's going to be okay, that all is well, even if it doesn't seem all is well. All of these experiences are helping the human spirit condition to grow, to expand. So when history looks back, we can say, oh, we tried this before. But unfortunately, history has a tendency to repeat itself because we're not awake. We're lost in this noise, this head trash. And it's a very dangerous situation when the head trash is in control. Violence escalates. Situations get worse. But realize this is not the truth. The truth is always right here. The seat of your soul in the heart. So it's kind of interesting how I had those insights today of feeling all this suppression, all this, constricts, and then it blows up today. And unfortunately, I see the violence getting worse. Maybe not tomorrow, next day, but the next month or so. I see it just getting worse and worse as the division continues to grow. Because we're operating from head trash. And unfortunately, head trash is dangerous. And a lot of people kill themselves because of this head trash. Because they feel there's no way forward. Feel like they're being squashed like a bug. But realize there is a way forward by learning to be at peace with yourself. Well, take good care of yourself. Relax. This is your human experience, but it's not the truth of you. Take good care.